Sogale amche CCR TV Polenarang, my Mogacho Yokar. This is in conversation with Compassion Football Club. Awards do not only acknowledge success, they recognize many other qualities like ability, struggle, effort, and above all, excellence. We come to know of outstanding organizations when they win an award. An award makes one feel that their work is valued. It is a token of recognition of excellence in a certain field. Awards, no doubt, make us feel proud, happy, overwhelmed, and delighted. An award not only boosts one's confidence, motivation, and self-esteem, but also inspires one to pursue higher goals and standards. It is a matter of great pride for Goa as well as all Goans that Karuna Football Foundation's Compassion Football Club, they were awarded the Mahatma Gandhi Award 2023 on 30th September 2023. They were awarded for the category Social Good and Impact for Good Health and Well-being. They were awarded for the exceptional impact their foundation has had through sports in the nation in the last decade. The award was a beacon of recognition for Compassion Football Club for having exhibited unwavering dedication and outstanding contribution to society. The Mahatma Award, which is the prerogative of the Mahatma Foundation, they received 1,000 nominations, of which 360 were shortlisted by the jury. Subsequently, interviews were held by the Aditya Birla Group and only 100 selected, and this included individuals like our own Goan brother, Padma Vibhushan, Dr. Raghunath Anant Mashalkar, among others. The basis for the awards, the fundamental purpose to acknowledge those who embody the timely principles of Mahatma Gandhi, the founder of our nation, lived by truth, non-violence, social justice, equality, and a commitment to making the world a better place for all. By recognizing and celebrating these values, the Mahatma Award that has been awarded since 2016 is having an aim to inspire others to follow the footsteps of the extraordinary leader. Kennedy De Silva, the director of the foundation, is here with us. Welcome, Kennedy Bab.
Thank you so much, Jovito Bab, for having us on CCR TV this
It's a pleasure. And when they received the award, they had the core team members, Milton Fernandes, who is also with us. Welcome, Milton Bab.
Thank you, Jovito sir. Thank you very much.
When they received the award, there were two ladies, Martha Rodriguez and Betty De Silva. Unfortunately, they could not make it with us now. Kennedy and Milton, you were there when you received the award. What is the principle of your Karuna's foundation? Your mission and vision?
We've been basically working for the underprivileged communities across, not only in Goa, but through the country. And of late, we have also started internationally working Afro-Asia with the Compassion Girls Football Community that we set up recently, and we were in East Africa. The basic intention of the Karuna Football Foundation is to provide a platform for all the marginalized and the underprivileged of our nation, as well as from Afro-Asia when we talk about it now. But initially when we did it, it was never that we thought that it would be international, but it was purely to do it within Goa and then spread towards the nation.
So you basically look into identifying those who do not have access to sports facilities due to economic factors.
Very much true, Jovit Bab. You can say that very this thing, because our intention is not only in sport, but it's to give life to people. When I say this, I can very strongly say this because our flagship initiative is the Academy of National Residential Academy that we have started 3 years back. And the whole idea was to provide education, health, nutrition, and above all, everything through sport.
Your objective is very laudable, I must say. It's unique. I haven't come across an organization basically through sports which also caters to the other views like excellence to represent ultimately India by looking into this marginalized factor.
Thank you so much, Jovit Bab. We are really humbled today when we come before you that our objectives were always that we looked at people who were below. I come from a family myself which was not very affluent as such. However, during my younger days, I had this privilege from Mumbai and then coming to Goa, working with people of different communities, and most of them that I worked with as a child as well was with the underprivileged and the marginalized. So that intention was very clear even when I was a small boy. And so since then, it has been to do something which the great principles of Mahatma Gandhi himself and all the leading leaders of the world, whether it was, I have taken a lot of things from Mother Teresa, whom I met on 2-3 occasions in my life, had the privilege of going and studying leadership in South Africa, where Nelson Mandela comes from, and then with several other leaders that I have experienced to have, working with, and therefore the underprivileged and the marginalized.
So you have over 50,000 kids trained for life skills through experimental learning in Kids Games program. What is this Kids program?
Kids Games program is nothing else but to bring young children from the age category of 4 onwards until 17, 18. And then we have something called a Teen Games program. But the whole idea of the Kids Games program is going to schools, going to orphanages, going to streets and slums, and working with them to give them life skills training so that it helps them in not only preparing themselves for education on per se and in the academics, but about how to live life at large. So Compassion FC, when it started, it had this whole intention of working with compassion, and therefore 50,000 students, children across the nation in India. I think 50,000 is not the number, it could be much, much bigger, but from what I see, because we've been working on this for the last 16 years, in fact the award is for last decade, because when we made the presentation, when we were asked for the nomination, we had to make it for 10 years. So it's 50,000 from 10 years point of view, but it should be more than maybe about 80,000 or a lakh of students, not only in Goa, but across India. And most of the schools with the Archdiocesan, this thing with the ABE and the DSE, we have worked with many of them across Goa.
And you have been organizing annual summer coaching camps for boys and girls every month of May. And I believe you look after all their needs. I think that's been done under the leadership of Milton.
Yeah, we have initially to start a coaching program also, where we train the coaches and train the trainers also to train the young children. And also we have been fortunate enough sort of coming from families which support sports. So Mrs. and everybody around being also from physical education, that has given us the initiative and the push to go out and reach out whatever we have learned, whatever we have gained, to come and share with others.
You were at one time the head of the sports department in the Goa University. Yet, could you make time for all these activities?
Yes, where there is a will, there is a way, and it's really true. If you have your priorities right, then you can really balance it all. And most of the time, we used to chalk out the program where the children are free, and we also have some time to meet their needs.
You have been catering to compassion festivals and nationals for orphans, street children. What did you motivate you to take up this?
One of the biggest motivation for us has been one of our now young coach, Prakash. Himself a child who was orphan, is an orphan, and he doesn't know his parents. But we started from there. He was initially supported by Don Bosco, the Salesians, and now he is with us. And he was the chief person. After him, we reached out to many. We started with the boys team, under 14, and then we build up on various other teams overall.
So he's still there with you.
He is still there, and he's our coach.
Yeah,
senior coach.
Kennedy.
I just add to that, Prakash lives with us at home. Prakash is an orphan boy and has no parents. He has no clue of anything. Initially, as Milton said, that he came to Goa from Mumbai in the trains, cleaning up on the trains, the people sweep and they clean the compartments and all that. He used to sell plastic bottles and so on and so forth. So he got the privilege of going to the Apna Ghar, from where he was picked up by the Salesian fathers, Father Arvind, when he was at this thing in Don Bosco's Panjim. So he got to be picked up from there. So he went to Margaret Bosco Bal Bhavan in Ukasai, and then he was able to study, and from his studies he came to college, to the higher secondary, first in Don Bosco's at Panjim, went on to complete his bachelor's in social work, then completed his bachelor's in physical education. Today,
all this at Don Bosco's?
Yes, he did that in Don Bosco's. Till the bachelor's of physical education, he was in Don Bosco's. And after that, he was, for some reasons, because of his age factor and all those things, they thought that they could not keep him for too long. And then he became a part of our family at home. So from 2016 onwards, he lives at home with us.
With you in Ponda?
In Ponda.
Okay.
So he's been the we call him the brand ambassador for compassion, because he was the one who motivated us to get into this whole activity as such. Today he's a postgraduate waiting to complete his PhD.
Is it?
Yes. And so he is one of the very basic person because of whom we thought that we must do something for the underprivileged and the marginalized. What he has experienced and what he carries when he goes to the ground, to the fields of play, because he knows it all. So when we talk about street children, he knows it. When we talk about slums, he knows it. When we talk about orphanages, he's all into it. So therefore, he's been one of our strong pillars of the Compassion Football Club, from where we have taken this objective of making things happen.
And now you have gone into Africa and you have got Afro-Asian Compassion Girls Football Community. Could you tell us more about your work? And I was told that your initiative is to cover 10,000 girls, and you have been to some countries already. Your experience there?
Recently, I had been to 3 of the East African countries, went to Tanzania, went to Kenya, and went to Uganda. 30 countries that we look at by 2030, and the number of 10,000 young girls from the marginalized and the underprivileged communities from these places, is that what we are working with.
Is there great poverty in these places?
I was crying the 9 days that I lived in these places, in these 3 countries that I spent time. I was literally crying every night looking at the situation of what the things are. We have started partnering with Earth Angels, is an organization in Nairobi, and it is being led by none other than one of my own students whom I taught at Chogle College when I was in 1988 in Chogle College. She was a student of mine from Margao, and she is heading the Earth Angels organization in East Africa, in Nairobi, in Kenya.
How did she reach there?
Her dad is Mr. Gomes, very famous person, was earlier, I think you'll need a one full session to talk about him and about his work there that's happening. You know, the Goans were in Africa earlier. Most of them used
Don't tell me he's got a big bar and...
no, not at all.
Okay.
He's an educationist who has got the order of the Kenyan government. That's like the Padma Shri in India.
Yes.
He's got the award there. And so he started about 10 schools across Nairobi. And
10 schools?
10 schools across Nairobi and the other parts of Kenya. And Paloma is his daughter. And Paloma happened to be my student when I was in Chogle College teaching there. So she was a tennis player and she won the intercollegiate tennis tournament. The first time that the Goa University, as when I was there, we had started with the girls tennis and she won the title that time. So we've been having a long association for many, many years now. It's almost about 35 years. And so that since then, I took this initiative to these countries of East Africa and the other countries that we are going to visit very soon, is basically because poverty is at, I don't have words to express. We might see Nairobi, when we go to the capital city, is very different. But within the capital city, there are so many slums. Like in Mumbai, Dharavi is known. In India, Dharavi is known.
Yes.
Bigger slums than Dharavi.
Is it?
Very much true. And they work there. Paloma works right in the midst of that. And so I've been there. I have seen children there. Probably in the video that you will watch during the course of this interview, there is something that you can see about the East African thing, the children there and the love and affection that they would give to somebody from whom they get the least. Just one ball that I took from here for that school which I went to, and for them, they play with plastic balls, you know. Poilinche amcha tempar, we used to have those balls wrapped with plastic. Sock balls.
Yeah.
So even today, in some of the places, children play with that.
Is it?
Yes, but they are strong. They are really fit in many ways because that's the way they're genetically, built up. But only if they get the opportunities, they can make it big.
So they need balls.
We are going to take them with the kit, not only the footballs and the kit, but we are also going to train coaches there.
Is it?
In the life skills that myself as being trained in South Africa, as I told you earlier, during the 2007 training that I attended for 3 months in Cape Town, in Stellenbosch in South Africa. This was in preparation for the World Cup that South Africa had FIFA World Cup organized there.
Yes.
So the whole training that I did there is now being used over the many, many years that you're talking about now is because of that. And that same training needs to go to many other countries across the globe.
So you will
I'm
put it
taking
across,
that training there.
these countries.
Very much.
Yes.
Very much
Yes.
true.
And how was your experience overall?
The children were so, I was overwhelmed with the kind of response that I got, not only from the children and the staff of the schools and all that I visited, also in the orphanages and some of the slums that we visited, but it's also that people, the Indian community there, Gujaratis are very famous in all these places as business people, and they are willing to support something like this initiative that is going to take place. So when we talk about the Mahatma Award, I know that for sure that when the work that we've been doing, not only in Goa and in India, but also across Asia, you should not be surprised because I'm going to go to Philippines and to even Bangladesh and many other nations in Asia, which are in the same kind of levels that what I'm talking about in Africa. I've done a lot of homework on this. There's a lot of research that has happened into all this when we started thinking about the Afro-Asia.
आप सभी को मेरा प्रेम भरा और सादरपूर्ण नमस्कार। तो जो पौधा हमने 2017 में महात्मा पुरस्कार सम्मान का लगाया था एक डेडिकेशन की तरह हमारे महात्मा गांधी जी के लिए, वो धीरे धीरे वृक्ष बनने की तैयारी कर रहा है और हमारा लक्ष्य ये है कि हम एक दिन इस वृक्ष को इतना बड़ा कर दें कि उसकी छाया में पूरा विश्व बैठ पाए।
The principle of compassion lies in the heart of all religious, ethical, and spiritual traditions. Compassion is always to treat all others as we wish to be treated ourselves. Compassion compels us to work tirelessly to alleviate the suffering of fellow creatures. It is throwing ourselves in the center of our world and place another there.
The Foundation works to achieve the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals in all its endeavors. Among our focus is to promote girls achieving excellence, to represent our nation through our residential academy, which caters to their all-round development. We have been involved in the Kids Games program throughout the nation, and we have been doing it for almost a decade now. Training to prepare our boys and girls for competitions is done during the vacation period, and a lot of effort is put into it. Afro-Asia Compassion Girls Football Community is an innovative initiative to cover over 30 African and Asian countries by 2030, and we have begun the same from East Africa already. Afro-Asia initiative is to build the underprivileged and marginalized girls from different poor and underdeveloped countries across the two continents. They would receive training, nutrition after practice, and also educational support through different partnership initiatives with international agencies and also philanthropists. With years of hard work, we are now recognized both at the local and national level for achieving great results, mostly in football, but also in athletics and volleyball. We have been regularly catering to orphans and street children, and not only from Goa, but from different southern and western states of India. Masters event for senior players covers sports for all, and we have many national and international players participating regularly in it. Health awareness camps and activities for an integral part of our initiative. International Women's Day is a key initiative to bring sportswomen together. Clinics and outreach programs are a great motivation to our players. Environmental issues are also of great concern to the Foundation. COVID pandemic was an opportunity to serve the traveling migrants, and our volunteers happily did so. We did serve flood victims wherever there was a trauma and disaster situation in our neighboring states. Rural sports development helps us to reach most of the underprivileged communities. Coaches and teachers development to reach our maximum people across the nation and now internationally is our concern at the foundation. We also have been working for fitness for all and using events for social awareness. The members of the Karuna Football Foundation thank all those that support the works undertaken to achieve the vision and mission of the foundation.
You have done also a lot of humanitarian work. Manipuri girls who were left here, you did help them. COVID time also. Can you share your work?
Right from the time when we have something called disaster and trauma work that we do. Whenever there are situations like the floods, especially when it came to the floods in Tamil Nadu some years ago and then Kerala, we did a lot of work during that time, taking stuff from Goa and passing it on sports people whom we knew, because I've been connected with people across different states in India, and therefore with compassion we have our own set of people whom we know who come for the national championships and all that. So they were in need of so much at that point of time, and therefore in Kerala we had a football match which was organized in Goa between the legends of Kerala and the legends of Goa, including all the top international players right from Kerala. There were almost about 22 of them who came from Kerala, and we had more than 30 of our players from all the Arjuna awardees that we have, whether it was Brahmanand or whether it was Bruno Coutinho, whether it was Savio Madeira, you name them, and we had a match during that time. So that was one of the initiatives that we took up to support 50 families of sports people in Kerala in the district of Chalukudi. And we went and built small, actually huts for them, but we provided them with some kind of basic amenities that they could go on with life during the floods that took place. Then came COVID, and COVID was one of the initiatives that time. We were able to provide almost with 10,000 plus people, migrants who were traveling. We used to go to the borders at Pole, we used to go to the borders of Patradevi, we used to go to the borders of Mole, and so on and so forth, providing food packets to all those traveling people, because in those days, you remember, there was nothing. And so we did that as well.
So I remember that you had COVID trauma relief program.
Yes, very much. So that was that almost about 10,000 plus food packets that were made, and this came because of the support that we got from parents, from people who are associated, including people like you, I should say, Jovit. Jovit Bob, you have been there with us for all our training programs, whatever we've been doing. And so, there have been so many people across different spectrum of the society who have helped us. It was only that we took the steps and their people came, walked along with us.
You talked about the training of the coaches. I think, Milton, you have been doing this work for your organization.
Yes, as an organization, we were able to get the D license program for
that's a recognized
program, and mostly we try to encourage young ladies women players, and they came and we had a program in partnership with SVD Raya. So that was a good program because many of our players who are already with us, they got the taste of coaching, and plus the people who are in touch with us.
So it's a very comprehensive program that you keep on doing.
Yes, yes. We try to touch the lives of various people, and whomever we can touch and pass on some values to their life. So their life.
It's really an initiative, especially the rural community development centers that you have for underprivileged is something outstanding. You need finances for all that. And I know you are not a commercial person, neither you have a big industry. How do you manage it?
It's basically family and friends. When we look at it, we were promised so much by the government when we started with the academy and all that. However, the priorities of the government are so different from those that we have. So many times I still look forward to the government to give us some incentives and things in the near future because of the award that we have now received, and we're looking forward to from the social welfare department, from the Department of Sports and Sports Authority of Goa, that with this recognition probably it will help us to make an impact on their understanding of things. But all said and done, there have been friends, in fact it's family and friends who have been supporting these initiatives. Not that we don't have the corporates. We have Seza Vedanta who have been helping us in organizing, in doing things. We have the Geno Pharmaceuticals people who have been doing things. We have Maxons who comes out and helps us, even providing for the food for our girls. And there are some agencies who are doing their bit of it. But we believe that now when people watch us on this interview, they will be motivated to support the cause that we have for Goa, especially for Goa at the moment, and of course for Afro-Asia and for the nation as well.
So we can only hope and pray that you keep on carrying on with your vision and mission, which is aligned with United Nations Sustainable Goals. Compassion Football Club has a project at hand to reach out to over 1 lakh of underprivileged girls to receive football kit, training, health education and nutrition by 2030 in 30 countries. Wish you all the best, Kennedy and Milton. May God bless your efforts, and I know you will be always, I'm sure you'll get another award in another 5 or 10 years. All the best, Kennedy and Milton.
Thank you so much, Jovito, and to CCR TV and to the audience who's watching us. Really appreciate the initiative of the CCR TV to get us on this interview, and very especially Jovito. Please continue in your relationship.
It's CCR TV. On behalf of CCR TV, I can commit to you 4 footballs. You'll get them. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.